I'm here to talk about expectations versus reality. You know, sometimes life may not turn out like what you think it would be, and times you fail. Most of the time, people give up. I have failed a lot of times. So I'm here to tell you my boring life and how I became a YouTuber. And obviously, you can see the screen right now. It represents that little play button. So let's go. Let's rewind back about, let's say, when I was too young to even speak or understand what everything was about around me. My mom always wanted me to grow up to be somebody successful. And when you talk about successful, they say, I want you to be an engineer, I want you to be a doctor. But all of a sudden, I saw something that sort of blew my mind away. I boarded a plane and I was like, wow, this thing can fly? So I wanted to be a pilot since young. And I told my mom, yeah, okay, I want to be a pilot. I told all my uncles, my aunties, I wanted to be a pilot when I grow up. Why? Because I wanted to fly around the world for free and probably marry a beautiful air stewardess. It's true. It's a dream job. So when I was young, I used to play pretend. I used to get all my aunties and uncles and force them to sit behind me using all the dining chairs, and I'll play the pilot, the air stewardess, and the air steward. Yeah, I used to serve them drinks. I used to tell them, please fasten your seatbelts. If you don't have one, please make pretend, and pretend that they're there. And I would do anything possible to sort of humor myself, and my family will play along because they've always supported me in whatever I wanted to do back then. I mean, come on, I was a 5-year-old kid. What else do I know? So be like, okay, all right, I'll support you. Go do whatever you want. So I continued to study through primary school into high school, and after you finish high school, you need to send out all of your applications to, airline industries, airline companies. So that's what I did. I sent it out to Singapore Airlines, I sent it out to Malaysian Airlines, I sent it out to whatever airlines I could find. Back then, there was no internet, so there was the papers. So, you had to go through page by page to see if you have anything interesting that you can send it out to. And you know what? None of them replied. So when no one actually responded, I was still young back then. I am still young. I got very disheartened, and I was like, oh man, I thought I worked hard. I thought I put in my whole heart and effort, studied hard, went to science stream and stuff like that so that I could be a pilot. But none of them responded as well. And you know what's the worst feeling? Some of my friends who were my classmates, hey, guess what? I got a reply from Singapore Airlines. I was like, yeah, get you. So what am I gonna do? So I think at that point of time, I was very uninspired. And I was just following orders from parents. All right, why aren't you gonna do this? Why aren't you gonna do that? And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'll do whatever you want me to do. So I decided to continue my studies, and I basically decided to study marketing because I talk a lot. Haha, no surprise there. I decided to enroll myself in Curtin University. I studied marketing and PR, and that's where I realized that I love to talk a lot, and I love to sell things, and I love to tell people that this is great, even though it's not. So once I graduated, before I graduated, when I went to Australia, here's something I gotta tell you guys. In Australia was where I found my love for YouTube. Why? Because the internet connection in Australia back then was amazing. You didn't have to press pause and let it buffer. You could just press play and zoom. And that was where I discovered a lot of people like Kev Jumba, Wong Fu, Nigga Higa, Kina Granis, and a lot of YouTubers that you guys are familiar with today. Despite the lack of concentration in lectures and studies and whatever in Curtin University, I graduated. And my mom was actually very, very happy. Great. 3 years of tertiary education, I came out and I wanted to be a strategic planner. I wanted to work for big brands. I wanted to work for people like Nestle, people like, Pepsi or Coca-Cola. I wanted to be in their marketing department. I wanted to do a strategic marketing plan to bring brands to a different height and do things that people have not thought about before. And that's where I landed a job in the marketing department first in Astro, because I offered a job in Astro. I was like, okay, cool. TV, radio, and whatever not. So I decided to go there. Sat at a desk for 9 months, and I had one big tall guy who was bald. His name was the Jake Man. And he came to me and said, all right, do you want to try radio? I'm like, actually, I don't know. I don't mind. And he's like, it's a yes or no question. And I was like, yes. He was tall, okay? He's tall and big, and trust me, you know, you gotta look up to him. I'm tall already. He's about 6'5". So I said, okay, yes. And that's how I landed my career in radio, and that's how I became a radio DJ. No fancy stories. That's literally how I became a radio DJ. And it has been an amazing journey. I've been a radio DJ. Now, a lot of you may think that I've only been a radio DJ for like 3 years, but the truth is, I've been a radio DJ for about 10 years now, almost 10 years. You may know me from this show, which is the Hits FM Morning Crew with Ian and Jinnyboy. And 2016 was Ian, Jinnyboy, and Adam C, because I decided to depart from this station. More on that a bit later on. So when I joined radio, I was put at night. So I had no friends to go out with because, you know, I had to work from 8 to 12 midnight. And during my career in radio, it's simple. You go in, you talk about music, you sell the music, you talk about a brand, and you play the music. So I told myself, you know what, this is pretty boring. I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to bring something unconventional to radio. Radio is so conventional. I mean, come on. You hear Justin Bieber, you hear Maroon 5. Any Maroon 5 fans here? Well, good for you, man. Do you like One Direction? Kind of? Yeah, you cool. So all these artists were all, you know, famous. They had millions and millions of dollars backing them. And, you know, obviously, when you back marketing with millions of dollars, you get a product. And these products will be worshipped by youngsters or even adults such as yourselves. So I decided to go into the undiscovered market of YouTube. I discovered YouTube in Australia, and I came across so many great YouTube musicians who were so talented, but, you know, they were not heard of on radio. And that was where I decided to send lots and lots of emails out to people like Keena Granis, to people like David Choi, people like Dave Days back then, people like Ryan Higa, Wong Fu Productions. And David Choi replied. And that's how I met David Choi. I said, dude, I want to interview you for a radio show. He's like, great. I interviewed David for 10 minutes, and we had a conversation for about, say, 2 hours. And I realized that me and David, we had a lot in common. And, you know, we were interested in music, we loved the entertainment industry, we were passionate about what we did. And he told me, hey, you know what, why don't you get into YouTube as well? Why don't you, you know, do whatever we're doing? It's not that hard. And it is true, it's not that hard. It is not that hard for you to start a YouTube channel. More on that later. So I decided to sort of bring my show to a new level. When you listen to radio, it's the theater of the mind. Chances are you have to sort of like listen to my voice and try and wonder, is Jinnyboy good looking or is he fat? So what I wanted to do was bridge the gap between both mediums, audio and visual. Radio is audio, YouTube is visual. So that's where I decided to buy a secondhand camera and record all of my interviews with celebrities around the world, local, international, whoever I could find. As long as you gave me content, I will bring my cheap camera and I will film us and I will edit it and I will put it up on YouTube. And I only did it because I love doing it. I love editing videos, I love seeing reactions, and I just wanted people to, you know, enjoy my show a bit more, right? So I had to start a YouTube channel. Here's a back-end story on how I got my name Jinnyboy. Now, a lot of you may not know, but I hate the name Jinnyboy. I hate it, all right? When I joined Hits, I had a good friend named Ian, who was about this tall. He said that, hey, you're the new boy at the station, Jinnyboy. And I'm like, oh my God, I hate you guys. And the more I hated it, the more they used it against me. So that's how my name Jinnyboy got thrown out, just like that. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll take it. So I had to start a YouTube channel, and I was like, fine, you know, I couldn't call myself Cool Guy or Razorman XXX because they were all taken, right? So I was like, fine, I'll just use my name, Jinnyboy. And guess what? To my surprise, I was not the only one who thought my name was cool. There was somebody else who thought my name was cool because the username was taken on YouTube. I'm like, what the heck? Someone took my username? You know, I checked out that YouTube channel, and there were no videos, and I'm like, oh, okay, I hate this guy. So I was like, okay, what should I name my channel? Fine. I got really, really creative, and after 5 days of brainstorming, I just added a TV behind. And that's how my channel was born. No fancy stories again. So I began editing videos and I began uploading all of my interviews up on my channel. And yep, my first video got about 100 views, or even less than that, about there. Not even at the thousands, I would say. And I would probably think that, out of all the 100 views that I got on my first video, like one of them was from my mom and probably 99 of them was from myself. It is very discouraging, trust me. When you upload something that you've spent 13 hours editing and you get like less than 100 views, you'd be like, oh well, should I do this or should I not do this? And I decided to go on. Why? Because I wasn't motivated by views. I wasn't motivated by the fame that I was going to get, doing YouTube videos and stuff like that. I didn't want to be like David Choi. I just wanted to edit videos and put it up for people to watch. So I continued doing what I love doing. I filmed videos of interviews after interviews after interviews with celebrities and even YouTubers. And that's where, you can see all of these videos on my channel, free plug. And one of them are the JS Lee sisters. If you watch my channel, the first few videos on my channel are all interview videos. Interviews. Interviews with JS Lee, interviews with Far East Movement, interviews with Clara C, Zia V, whom you might be familiar with because some of them are mainstream acts. So after that, Hits FM decided to start a new department where they'll get their own team to film interviews and upload it on their YouTube channel, which was amazing. But then again, when they did that, that left me with nothing to do. Because, yeah, it's good that, a company is finally recognizing the potential of YouTube and they started like a department for themselves. But then again, I got bored. And I was like, man, I'm not going to be able to edit my own videos. There's a team doing this, so what do I do? So that's where I decided to say, all right, fine. You have a team that's going to be doing interviews from now on, and I'm no longer involved. It's okay. So I'm going to go out and film myself a movie. That was a bit too ambitious, so I said short movie. So I wrote a script. And I went knocking on everybody's doors. Not literally, but started calling people. There wasn't WhatsApp back then, so there was SMS. I spent 15 cents, per SMS, asking people to act in my skit that I really, really believed in. Why? Because it was something that was dear to me, and it was something that I really believed in. So I got a lot of rejections. So many people rejected my plea for help. No one believed in what I was about to do. They'd be like, oh, you're a YouTuber wannabe, or you want to be like Ryan Higa. You're gonna fail, and stuff like that. And I'm like, it's okay. I don't mind failing, because at the end of the day, I just want to make a film. And if it fails, at least I could tell my grandchildren, hey, look, your grandfather failed, but I made a film, and it was quite kick-ass, right? So that was where I was introduced to this lovely young woman on the left, sorry. Okay, it's a guy, all right, it's Ruben. But this is one of our films, one of our videos that we just released, and he cross-dressed as a mom, and I was his wife. So I was introduced to Ruben, and Ruben had knowledge of film. He had a film background, and I had no film background, because I learned all there is to know about video editing on YouTube, and it's true. I never went to school of film. I never went to film school. I just learned all there is to know on the internet and on YouTube. There's this guy called Final Cut King. Go YouTube him. He taught me everything there is to know about editing on a Mac or a PC or Windows or Mac or whatever software you wanted. So when Ruben got together with me and he said that, okay, let's do this, we had to find a lead actor. Again, after many rejections from so many friends of friends or people we don't know, we finally got in touch with this guy, and his name is Joseph Jamani. And I said, dude, I have an idea for a skit, but it requires you to sort of cross-dress as a woman. Are you down to do it? He's like, yeah, sure, I don't mind. And that was how Ah Wing, Malaysia's #1 salesman, was born. And yeah, he was trying to, be like Justin Bieber, but it's okay. So before uploading the video, I told myself, you know what? I'm gonna be happy if this video gets about 1,000 views or even 1,500 views or whatever. Because it's a video with no celebrities. I used to do interview videos with so many celebrities, but this video had no celebrities, had no famous people on it. It was just a normal video that I wrote one day when I was bored. But when we uploaded it, after a few days, it hit a few 100,000 views. I got shocked. I'm like, what the heck? What's happening? So many people are watching this video and so many emails are coming in. Most of them saying, hey man, I really like your work. Some of them are saying, man, you suck, you're a wannabe. Some of them saying, hey, are you Singaporean? I'm like, no. I know, we look the same, we talk the same, but we're not the same. And you know, it was very encouraging because for the first time I was like, whoa, now I know what it's like to be like, you know, those YouTubers from the States. They get hundreds and thousands of views. Now I know what it feels like. It feels like nothing. It's the same. Yeah, you're not gonna get $1 million check overnight, no. You're not gonna go out and no one's gonna roll a red carpet for you, no. You're not gonna have so many invitations to all these events, no. You know, I was just a normal individual the next day. But one thing I took from this was, wow, I put so much effort into making a video that I really believed in, and finally it paid off. You know, no one believed in what I did or what I wanted to do. So, and finally it paid off. So what did I do? I gave up. No, I'm kidding. I decided to make more videos, and that's how we have over 80 million views today on our channel. Films filmed in Malaysia, out of Malaysia, Singapore, the United States, Australia, everywhere. And one thing we always remember, never ever forget where you're from, and we always bring the Malaysian culture across the borders. And my main goal of this whole entire channel is to bridge the gap between Malaysia and the rest of the world. Why? Because I can have my next door neighbor acting next to a big superstar like Jay Park, or David Choi, or Ryan Higa. Everyone are equals, and that's what I wanted to achieve in this channel. And that's why I gave up my job on radio to pursue my career on YouTube full time. And YouTube has been a dream come true for me. It has given me a life that I've never imagined. Because like, who would have thought that people from around the world will be watching my video? So I've been able to meet so many amazing people and work with them just because I decided one day to say, you know what? I'm gonna go out and start a YouTube channel and do something that people are gonna think I'm gonna fail at. But I decided to prove them wrong. Because at the end of the day, who cares if you're famous or not? As long as you care about what you do, and you love what you do, and you're inspired by what you do, basically weighs out everything else. So I hope this encourages you to start a YouTube channel. If you need some advice, I'll be more than happy to teach you guys on how to start a YouTube channel. And hopefully I'll see you guys online. Bad joke. And have a pleasant evening.